This is under a cooperation between the IEEE Egypt section as well as the Vehicular Technology chapter for the IEEE. And we are aiming in, because I am the vice chair for the IEEE Egypt section, we are aiming to have such technology and this innovative part in order to be in phase with what is happening in the world, because you know, quantum computing is one of the main enabler for 5G and beyond, 6G application, bioinformatics, and a lot of industries. So we are searching about the main player in the world. We found and we are trusted and we have the full appreciation for having such a big and well-esteemed company, which is IBM headquarters from New York. We have here, let me introduce Dr. Petra, because she is one of the main innovator and in the IBM headquarters. She has a long story with quantum computing, and she has a very good experience in transforming research attitudes into practical deployment or business cases. So please welcome to Dr. Petra, and the stage is yours. She has, first of all, a video for the recent developed System 2 from IBM, and then she will introduce to you the quantum technology perspectives. Then we can have few questions before 1 p.m., our closing time. So, Dr. Petra, you are welcome, and please come to your stage.
Introducing the IBM Quantum System 2, the building block of quantum-centric supercomputing. Quantum System 2 isn't just a standalone system. It was designed to be extensible, supporting up to 4,158 qubits with additional control racks added. It was also designed to be modular, so multiple Quantum System 2s can connect cryostats with long-range couplers connecting the processors, supporting up to 8,316 qubits, and with 3 System 2s, a remarkable 16,632 qubits. In a data center environment, classical or AI racks can be swapped out to extend the computational capacity of the system. We will be unveiling our first working system at the Quantum Summit in late 2023. Thank you.
All right. Is it working? Very good. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so honored to be here in Egypt. Thank you, Dr. Heshram. Thanks for inviting me, also Vice Minister Dr. Bakker, also the director of the organization of the event. Also Dr. Yasser, thank you very much. And I had the honor already to talk with lots of professors from universities, so really thank you for inviting me. I think today you already heard a lot about AI. This hour, the next coming hour, you will hear more about quantum computing. What is quantum computing? I think some people will know lots of it, somebody a little bit less. So I try to keep it understandable for everybody, for the whole audience. Now, first of all, okay, is this going from itself, maybe? So I will talk more about the era of quantum utility. We have been already on the cloud since 2016, so you can already access our systems. So we are already, what is it now, several years ahead. So we are already talking about utility. You saw in the video that we announced the System 2, which means that we already had a System 1. But the System 2 was already on the market since 2023, as you heard. So we are already 1 year ahead. I'm not sure this is working. Okay. We have 2 missions. First of all, we want to bring useful quantum to the world. Why do we say this? Because you can do, I already said it this morning as well, as many research you can do, spend lots of time building quantum computers. If you cannot do something useful with it, it doesn't make any sense. So that's what we will talk about today. On the other hand, I will briefly touch upon it, but it's also an important topic to discuss. That is, we want to make the world quantum safe. And I will come back to that one as well. I will every time need to look to the audience. Yeah. So, quantum computers. We can already do a lot with classic computing, so let's be honest. You had many sessions about AI, many sessions about other topics. We can do a lot of stuff. But if it comes to very complex, detailed problems, then it becomes hard. You can compare it, I always like to make it understandable. Compare it with taking photographs. Suppose you can take many beautiful photos with a normal camera. But if you want to go, for instance, into a church, very detailed, taking very detailed picture, it becomes hard. So then you take a drone, just as an example. This is the same. We can already do a lot with classic computing. But when it becomes hard, we need to have other systems. And that's where the quantum systems come to play. There were three main areas, three main domains. The first one is simulating nature. Simulating nature is very hard with classic computing. Think about simulation of molecules. It's very hard. It can take millions of years. Quantum computing can be a solution. We have machine learning. Machine learning, we do a lot of things with AI already. But when it becomes hard, when it becomes very complex, with many variables to take into account, we can look into quantum machine learning. Think about fraud detection. Although we can already do some fraud detection with AI and with classic computing, we can have better, more accurate results with quantum computing. That's what we aim for, at least. And then we have optimization. And I know, Dr. Hesham, you already mentioned it. Optimization is really very important in the telco sector, but every sector has optimization challenges. So that's where we see the three domains. Yeah. All right. Now you can say, so what? What can we do with it? We have many use cases. I will go into some of them later in the discussion. But just that you see, it's not just doing quantum computing for research. We see it in every sector. And we are working with companies already on many of those domains. Think about automotive. We work together with Mercedes-Benz on battery technology, as an example. Think about life sciences. We work together with so many companies in life sciences and healthcare. Think about Cleveland Clinic, Moderna, really on drugs discovery. Remember simulation? Drugs discovery is, again, a use case of that one. Oil and gas, I think also important here, very important. How can we optimize the production, but also reservoir simulation, very important use cases. Energy and utilities, we work together with E.ON. How can we optimize the grids, as an example? So, lots of use cases. But when will this now happen? That's a question that I often receive. And another question that I often receive is, when will quantum computing replace classic computing? It won't. It doesn't make any sense. We will still use classic computing. Quantum computing is for complex problems, remember? So, it already started. We have many collaborations already happening. And hopefully we will start one here in Egypt as well. Now, we have a very strong ecosystem. It is important to collaborate, to work together. This is emerging technology. This means it takes a village to make it work. So all of you, I'm looking at all of you, we need to work together. We have the research institutions who have the experts, but we have the industries who have the challenges. So collaborating together is where it makes sense. So we have more than 250 organizations. I think it's almost, it's more than 280 in the meantime. It increases monthly. Members in the quantum network. We recently opened, we already have 2 global quantum data centers in US, but we now recently opened one in Germany, so that we have also one in Europe. Why is this important? Again, this is not IBM saying this. I always prefer that other people do the market studies. So this is one from Boston Consulting Group. It says that $35 billion of global investment will be made. Be aware, it's an economy. It becomes an economy on itself. It starts with the hardware. Then it takes into account all the universities and the skills building. It includes, industries, but also startups. Startups are the core of a country. It's very important to look at those startups. We have a roadmap, and I think it's important to really have a view on this roadmap. I'm not going too much into detail because I can talk half an hour about the roadmap. But why is this important? Because we want to show that we believe that quantum is there. It's not a story, it is there. And can you see the green check marks? The green check marks show that we have been able to execute what we have done. It's not very sharp, so just to show you that the underlayer, the black one, is a hardware. So you can see that we focus a lot on the qubits. Why do we need qubits? Because we want to scale. If we want to solve complex problems, we need to scale. And therefore we need not only qubits, but also the number of gates is very important. We estimate that by 2029 we will have total error correction. This doesn't mean that we can't have quantum advantage before that, because we are already working and investing hugely in error mitigation. There is what is error correction, error mitigation? Be aware that there is some noise on the quantum computers, and we try to eliminate that noise. It's not only the hardware, it's also at developer level and at research level. We have developed and we are investing hugely in Qiskit. Qiskit is an open source development kit. And we're also making it more easy for the users to develop on the quantum systems. For instance, I know that we're talking a lot about AI. We also infused now AI assistant in there. So it's already happening. And by the way, on top of that, we also look at the end users, the data scientists of this world, the industries, the applications. So all these layers are important. It's not taking just one out of it. The combination of the three is where it happens. Okay, next slide. Yeah. The problem is, if you wait by 2029, it's too late, like I said. Organizations already invested hugely in quantum. And they are, if you can see the number of patents that is being asked and requested for quantum, it's really growing exponentially. And you know what it means if you have a patent? If you have a patent, it means that another organization cannot do it anymore. So they will dominate the other sectors. And we also say, in quantum, we don't have fast followers. Or you do it now, or you will be too late. Because it takes time. It takes time to build your skills. This is again Boston Consulting Group. It's not IBM saying this. Early adopters will have substantial competitive advantage, and it's estimated to capture 90% of the market. 90%. So, therefore we need to collaborate, as I said. We have an IBM Quantum Network. These are just, you can try to read it, but I wouldn't try. But it's just to show you that it's many universities, it's industries, it's startups, it's research institutions. So many, many companies are already part of this. And this is important because we talk to each other and we bring each other in contact with each other. I always say we share the good, the bad, and the ugly because we learn. We learn from each other, we learn from ourselves. And we organize partner conferences, we have technical working groups where we bring together people as well and experts of IBM. So hopefully we will have some Egyptian companies or research institutions joining those working groups. I'm trying, but like I said, it's increasingly important to build your skills. You cannot do anything with the systems if you don't have the skills. I heard here from the professors that it's already starting, so that is really great news. But it's changing constantly, it's evolving, so it's an investment that a country needs to take, a government, universities, but also industries, because you have it at the academic level, but you also have to reskill and upskill at the industry level and at use case level. So that's important. So we have more than 22,000 students who have participated in our IBM Quantum events. And that's huge. And we invested more than 100 million in education. So we can help you there. There's a lot of education that is already publicly available. So you just go on the Google and you can just find it. If you become really part of the IBM Quantum Network, you will have access to much more education on top. This is such a tough... All right, next to skills building, it's important to also think one step further. And one step further means, can we build a quantum innovation center? A quantum innovation center has the 4 different topics. You need to have access to the quantum. Quantum as a tool. It's getting access to the system. You can easily do that through the cloud, or some quantum innovation centers choose to have a system on site. There's also the ecosystem development. You need to help to develop the ecosystem, and we as IBM can help you there. Thirdly, skills building, workforce and enablement at the different levels, like I said, not only the academic level, but also the industry level. And then, of course, research and development. Because be aware, industries, they come with the challenge and they can collaborate with universities and with researchers. Now, we have now 39 quantum innovation centers. Last month we had another one joining us. I don't think it's on there. No, it's one in Romania. So you can see the spots on the map. We can use some more spots, as you can see. I see there one, North Africa, there is a spot missing. You see the black ones and the, what is it, pink, purple? The purple ones, they have really a system on site. It's a system on site, it's a managed service. It's managed by IBM because it's quite complex to maintain it. So IBM is doing that. But you have so many who just use our cloud access. It's also easy. You can work together having access to the cloud. And certainly in the beginning it's very useful because you start to learn, you build your skills, so it can be a phased approach. Just a few of them that have been, those are the systems that have been on site. Those are just 3 examples. And there is always a nice ribbon cutting, of course, very important with the ministers. This one is Cleveland Clinic. They have the system in their cafeteria, which is quite nice because they do lots of events around it. They invite researchers, but it's also good to attract top talent. So that's why they absolutely wanted to have it. And they, of course, do a lot of research. We have their RPI, that's at the university, we have Pink in Canada, we have many in Japan, we have in Korea systems, so we have them around the globe. Now, Quantum Innovation Center is one thing. As we said, it's also important to have the industries on board. Otherwise, it stays at the academic level. There we can also help. We have a program that will help you defining a use case. It's not, like I said, not every use case is a good one for quantum. We have use cases that you can easily solve with HPC, with classic computing. But when it starts becoming very complex, we can help look at building a prototype together with you. And again, is building a prototype together, a proof of concept, so that you can do the next one yourself. So it's learning, but on the spot, hands-on, with your data. So that's important. Some examples. Financial industries. I think every country has banks, I suppose, insurance companies. Just a few of them what we are working on with some banks. Fraud detection, a very important one. I think if we talk to banks, they almost all look at the fraud detection one. And it's not only at the banks, the private banks, but also even at national bank level. Fraud detection is huge. Also portfolio optimization. We have again the optimization one. What we have discussed, you can see here as well. Portfolio optimization is very important. And the result could then be a more accurate portfolio. We have also time series forecasting. It's really to predict financial time series. But also risk assessment is one that we are using very often. And customer analytics. I know you all use AI already probably, but also again with quantum and QML, it is again to go one level deeper. And this is, for instance, the work that we are doing with with Crédit Mutuel. I don't know if you know the bank. It's a bank in France. Where we are working on those 3 use cases. But we're also working, for instance, with HSBC, well, with many banks, Erste Group, Amex, so many banks are looking into this one. I think I went too fast. Healthcare. Healthcare and life sciences, another domain where we see lots of potential use cases. Think about treatment adherence. Treatments, very, very important. It's about medication, where we see that quantum machine learning can perform better, can give better results, or could give better results than classical machine learning. Precision medicine. Also, again, everything, like I said, if it becomes more complex, it's a good one for quantum. Early diagnostics. I think also there we do a lot already predicting because one of the biggest costs of our healthcare system is when you have to cure the people. What if we can predict more and bring the cost lower? Also clinical trials, again, quantum machine learning can help there, and also fraud detection, and then that is mainly for the insurance companies around healthcare. It's a difficult one. So, we're working, for instance, on cancer immunotherapy. That's an important one, because here also we have found that quantum computing could improve patient outcomes. Again, adapt your medicines towards your patient. Much better than we do now. Another example, but we have many examples in healthcare, so we can talk about it, but I know I need to go faster. So E.ON is, I don't know if you know E.ON, it's in Germany, an energy company. So they are really looking at transforming the energy industry. They're also looking at sustainability. They want to become the sustainable energy organization in the world. And they want to use this to do it using quantum. Buoying. For buoying, for instance, we work with also with quantum since years now. One of the largest costs for a plane is corrosion. It's a big cost. It's a huge cost. So what if we could use quantum to look into this problem and solve this? Maybe by using other materials instead of the material that they are using now. So again, this is how we can use simulation this time. ExxonMobil. This is again an optimization problem. They are looking into shipments. How can we improve? And I think this is also, by the way, a good one for Egypt. How can we improve the shipments? How can we optimize it? They do, if they need to go from one place to another, and they need to make multiple stops. It's a huge cost if the transport would take 2 more days. It's a big cost for companies. So how can we optimize and lower the costs? And it's not only the number of days, it's the oil consumption, etc., that's related to it. So a very interesting example. We have many also in electronics as an example. For instance, we work with Bosch, also again material science and materials discovery. We work to LG Electronics, looking at the screen, at their screens, optimizing their screens. So many use cases. Now, how do we even start this? That's a question that I get. I heard from some universities and professors that they are working on the open plan. This is free. It's only 10 minutes, but you can start testing it. What is this quantum computer? So you can easily go to your laptop, access the computer, the quantum systems through the cloud. If you want to do a little bit more, you can do the pay-as-you-go. It's like using your credit card. If you really want to do research, very more in-depth research, we recommend the premium plan. The premium plan is a plan where you access through the cloud. You will become automatically part of the IBM Quantum Network. You will have access to all this on-top enablement, but also you will have access to our researchers. We can review your code if you're stuck somewhere. We organize technical working groups, like I said. So this is really, I think, certainly listening to the professors, this is at least the one you should go to. And then there is, of course, also the dedicated service. That is the on-site system. So that's really if you want to have a system on the ground. It's a managed service managed by IBM. It's normally a 4-year period, and after 2 years, we upgrade the system. By the way, you will always have access to the latest systems, all 100 plus qubit systems. This is again not our slide. This is from IDC. This is an analysis they made, and you can see, yeah, we are of course proud that we are in the upright corner there. So, but you can also see that the players in the quantum world are different than you're used to see. You see Rigetti, Quantinuum, IonQ, IQM, Pascal. So different kinds of companies than you're used to see. All right. And just as an example as well, here you can see the number of research papers that came out. And you can see that IBM is really used hugely. This is also arXiv, based on arXiv. So I just wanted to share it with you. Now, as I said, we want to bring useful quantum to the world. I hope that you can see at least that we have use cases, that it's not a dream, that it's real. But we also want to make the world quantum safe. And quantum safe is not the real quantum computing, as we say, but it's a consequence of the quantum computers. Because quantum computers could break, once we have the error correction, they could break some algorithms that are now preventing us, that are now making our applications, our environment, our whole IT environment secure. So that's a big threat. I think in 2015 there was a kind of competition that was written out, and IBM has also worked on this, and 3 of the 4 algorithms have been chosen as the NIST standards. So we are very proud that IBM was really a big contributor to these quantum safe algorithms. Now, like I said, our protocols that we're using now can be obsolete tomorrow. So be careful. And one of the things that is mainly important here is it is very easy when you have 2 numbers and you multiply them. Suppose 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. It equals to 15. But the other way around is much more difficult. And that's important. And okay, if it's small numbers, but if you start using numbers of 30, 40 numbers, it's not possible anymore. And that's what our classical security protocols are using. It is very hard to break it. It would take us millions of years. That's why it's so good now. But with quantum computing, Shor's quantum algorithm could be done in hours. So you can see the threat that is coming to us. We can help you there. We have also some solutions. We have different solutions. First of all, we need to discover and explore the vulnerabilities. And we have software to do this, so we can help you there. So finding, first of all, where are my vulnerabilities in my IT systems? Then we will advise you, or we have tools to help you advising which ones to tackle first. And then we have the remediator, is really how can we help you solve these issues and challenges. So, to end, I have 3 messages. Start building your skills at every level. I see that universities already started. Good, very good, and I really want to applaud that, because I come in many, many, many countries and I see different levels, really different levels. Some of them are really nowhere, others are very mature, So it's good that you already have some skills here. Engage in the global quantum system, in the ecosystem. So we can help you also growing your ecosystem. I think you have a small ecosystem, but it needs to grow, including industries, including many other universities. And maybe look cross-border, because you learn from each other. Don't stay within Egypt. Look cross-border. And then we also, of course, advise you to build your journey to quantum safe. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Petra, for your nice presentation and fruitful information that we already learned a lot from your talk.
Is it working?
Yeah. This is okay? Okay. First of all, we have some questions for you concerning your long journey with quantum computation and machinery. You are an expert, worldwide expert in transforming from the research point of view into business cases. Can you elect some of the presented business cases suitable enough for the MENA region deployment, especially for the Arabian and the African countries?
Yes, absolutely. And that's also, I think, important. You really need to look what is important to my region, what are my industries, because finally you can do lots of research, but what is the industries that it can be served for? Looking at your industries, I think certainly you have the telco, which you already looked at, and we probably go into
yes.
optimization. Network optimization is one very useful use case that we need to look into. Secondly, I think also oil and gas can be an interesting one. And I don't think you should only look at optimization for oil and gas, but also look sustainability. It's all about sustainability, so how can we help you there? And quantum can certainly be a catalyst there. I think healthcare and life sciences for everybody. When you have human beings, it's important to invest in those domains. And it's also something I wanted to share. When I see quantum innovation centers, I often also see different kinds of collaboration or focus. Some quantum innovations stay very cross industries, others are very specialized. So we already mentioned the Cleveland Clinic. Of course, they are very specialized in life sciences, healthcare. But it doesn't always have to be. We work, for instance, with CERN. You know CERN? I think the researchers know CERN. They also work with us on quantum. And they have huge amount of data, of course. And they are looking at quantum machine learning to find more patterns within their data.
Data analytics.
Yeah. So that's also one. So you can stay. So I think you have a very relevant question. What are the main industries important to your region? And then also work with your universities and your research centers and try to match those so that you can then, the use case, the industries come to the research centers or to the hub and say, I have this challenge, and then the research centers will also focus on those challenges more instead of doing the general research. That's my experience.
From your experience, could you advise us about the main challenges that may face the organization or universities or quantum innovation center, as you mentioned, for the deployment scenario of such a QIC in Egypt?
What I do see is that if you really want to have a successful quantum innovation center, you need somebody that really drives this. Because otherwise, you start taking initiatives and it starts to phase out. Yes. So you really need to assign somebody who can drive this. We, from our side, will also invest. We will assign a quantum engagement manager specifically for your country, for your quantum innovation center. And those two should work together and then roll out initiatives. and then it works best. And secondly, continuously focus on skills building.
So you are advising us by have some sort of dedicated team for such management for this QIC, and then we can elaborate in the popularization of quality and the quantum skills. It looks
Correct.
like development of our skills in the management, operation, research in the field of quantum. And so you think this, finally you can advise us about the roadmap or milestones that we have to follow in order to achieve such deployment of the QIC in Egypt?
Yes, so we will focus on the hardware and making sure that you will have the best hardware, which is important. I think it's important that you focus on the research and the application level, and that's where it all comes together then. And that is indeed deployment, hardware, applications, skills building, universities. It always comes together. And I think indeed applications, look at the application side. That's really, like you said, you're focusing already on telco. What does it mean for me as a company? Think like that. What does it mean for me as a university? Should I start focusing on a specific domain, or should I do it across different departments? Like I already mentioned to the professors, we can help you building curricula. You already have some curricula, but we can share our experiences, what we have done in, for instance, Spain or in US, in those countries. And let's learn from each other. Like I said, it's emerging technology, and we all learn from each other.
Okay. And finally, what about the deployment of, as you mentioned, for the banking service, especially for the fraud detection and some sort of enhancing the security for e-money transfer?
So we are really working hard on fraud detection because it's a problem everywhere. We know that. And fraud detection is not even only in the banking sector. Like I said, it can also be in the insurance sector. It can be everywhere. And fraud detection is, we can already do a lot with AI, like I mentioned, but you can take variables into account that you don't even think about. And that's what quantum computing does. Because quantum computing, and I don't want to go too much into detail of the technical aspect, but the quantum computer has some characteristics that classic computing doesn't have. And they have the superposition, they have the entanglement, they have the interference, and that makes it much more powerful to find fraud that a classic computing wouldn't even find. So that's why we are focusing on that one.
Okay. You mentioned that you have some sort of solution called dedicated services. Can you talk a little bit about it?
The dedicated service?
Yes.
Yeah. So the dedicated service indeed is, it's similar, it's a synonym as an on-site system. It's an on-site system, but be aware that it is a managed service. So we bring the system here. Of course, there is this new regulation, export regulation, which we need to take into account. We need to address this. But we bring the system on site, but it is a managed service.
Yes.
It's too, you cannot maintain it yourself. So we maintain it for you.
We can cooperate.
Yeah. And it also needs some requirements, like, yeah, we will have a cooling, you know that. It will be, the systems are very, very cold.
Yes.
But also the height is important, and we can give you all of these. Also the vibrations are important. It's very sensitive to vibrations.
Yes.
So we have a team of experts that will come here and look, is this the right location? Very often when we have dedicated systems, countries still need to, countries still need to build a new building, or they need to adapt the building, because it's not...
Special customization for the installation process.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes it's also, a data center could be a good location, but I would not advise to hide it somewhere, because it's beautiful. It's a nice system. You should use it as a kind of marketing element and to attract top talent, not only from Egypt, but around the whole region, from the whole region. And that is important. Attract your top talent. And not only attract them, keep them here. Keep them here. And that's my message.
Yes, we have to conserve our human resource.
Absolutely, you
yes.
understood it.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Can you take the mic, please? Professor Ahmed Yunus from Alexandria University, please.
I'd like to thank you very much for this informative talk. It is really exciting. Actually, I have two questions as a curiosity, technical curiosity. You mentioned that you have two quantum data centers, right? So what's in this quantum data center? Is it quantum data or classical data? Quantum data center. So the data on this center, is it quantum data or classical data?
It's quantum.
No.
Okay. This is
We
another
cannot
mic,
store
okay.
quantum data.
You can use it.
So,
Hello?
yes.
It's okay? Okay. So, are you already using the open plan? So you send your circuits to the system, to the quantum system. They do the calculation, and then the data is sent back. We have two quantum data centers. In the meantime, we have three, by the way. Like I said, so we have one in Yorktown, and I would invite you to visit Yorktown, where we have the latest quantum system 2. And then we also have the ones in Poughkeepsie, which is our other data center in US, and now we have one in Germany.
So it is mainly the classical data for quantum systems, not the quantum data itself.
Yes, correct.
So it is classical
Yes.
data. Okay, my second question is looking to the traffic on your real quantum computers. What's the percentage come from universities, from research, and what percentage come from industry, real industry solving real use cases?
That's a good question. I don't have the exact percentages, but you have to know that every emerging technology, it starts in research. So we still have mainly research and academics, universities. But we see now more and more we have more than 70 industries working on the systems themselves. But other industries are collaborating with research centers, and those research centers are then doing it for them and are executing the quantum circuits for them. So that's why it's really a mix. But we do have, I think, in the meantime, more than 70 really working solely independently together with us. Yeah.
Okay. Last
Which is
question
good.
from Dr. Shalqawi, MCIT.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was a really enlightening talk. So I follow up. I do have actually a couple of technical questions too. So you alluded to the qubit error rate and how you're going to a zero error rate by 2029. And I'm assuming that the systems you're using are cryogenic-based systems, right? So how scalable, and I know there is research in cryogenic-free systems. So how do you see the future is going in terms of these systems being scalable? The other question is a follow-up of on my colleague's question, is that when you're talking about big data, about the data throughput, you know, you're talking about a huge processing power that can lead to a huge data output, right? But it seems there might be, I'm not sure about that, bottlenecks in terms of the storage, particularly, but quantum storage is not that stable. So how are you planning to deal with that? Thank you very much.
Yes, so I don't know if you saw the roadmap. It was quite, and maybe we can talk about it later, but we have a roadmap to really scale the number of qubits, and not only the number of qubits, but also the gates. And how will we do that? And it's a good question you're asking also, because what we decided to do is not only to have everything, all the qubits on one chip, because you have too much noise on it. So we have a system that will couple the different chips, and even not only couple the chips, but also systems. In the movie you saw, I don't know if you were here already for the movie, you saw that we are building a modular system. So the coupling of this is very important for the scaling. Then the data related to the data. For AI, you need a huge number of data. So storage is growing. For quantum computing, you won't have this issue. So first of all, you need less data to have good outcomes, to do your quantum computation. So the data storage is less of a problem for quantum computing. And don't forget, you don't store data on the quantum computing. You send it to the quantum computers.
Yeah, but there's a bottleneck in terms of the communication, getting the data back and forth, right? It's not the same speed as the quantum computer.
Why should there be a bottleneck?
Okay. You don't need to put like a huge data. Okay, my other question about the cryogenic systems. And are you heading towards cryogen-free systems in the future? Or is it going to be cryogenic-based systems?
Yes, it is cryogenic-based systems. We are not intending to change that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Petra, for this presentation and this session. And finally, we are thanking all of the attendees, and we hope that this session will be a start-up for the quantum technology in Egypt. It will be nice to cooperate with our Egypt section for the IEEE and all the stakeholders in order to put Egypt in its position. And finally, we are appreciating your participation and again, welcome in your second country. Thank you, Dr. Petra.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Doctor, in addition, we have to thank Dr. Paul from IBM headquarters, and he is coming when he listened to me that this will be an open session about the quantum technology. Thank you for coming from US direct to here. Thank you, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Dr. Hisham. I appreciate you having us here. Hello, everybody. I wanted to address your question about the data bottleneck. There you are. So we're developing systems. We're developing our systems so that we can build the electronics. We can hold the electronics inside the cryogenic system. So then we can pass digital information through the cryostat, because at the moment we just pass the microwave signals. And so the goal there is to minimize the amount of maximize the data throughput onto the device. So we're developing cryogenic CMOS that will be layered with the quantum chips. And there's still a loading or converting the data into quantum systems, right? And quantum data. And so that's one of the challenges that we'll always face. But as Petra mentioned, if you're doing things like machine learning, you can actually see significant improvements in the accuracy of the results with using less training data than in a classical system. And so.
Thank you, Dr. Paul, for your clarification. And now this is the end of our session. Thank you all.